Welcome to Thy Word is a Lamp unto my feet, a Bible study of Fort Hill United Methodist Church. The goal of this Bible study is to respond to questions you might have about the Bible. You may send your questions to Marc Brown, M-A-R-C Brown, at forthillumc.com. Today's question is, since all four Gospels are about Jesus, what makes each one of them unique? In responding to this question, today we'll consider the Gospel of Luke. Luke is unique in that it is the only gospel that was written to an individual, Theophilus, whose name means lover of God. The purpose of Luke was to show that Jesus was part of God's salvation history. The ways in which Jesus was part of God's salvation history is revealed in Luke through the first chapter, and it begins with recording how John the Baptizer was a part of that history as well. Elizabeth, John's mother, visited with Mary, Jesus' mother, and as a result, Mary sings what is called the Magnificat, an accounting of the salvation history of God. While the other three Gospels, record John the Baptizer's ministry in the wilderness, Luke is the only gospel that includes information about John the Baptist in an earlier time. Another unique aspect of the Gospel of Luke is that it is the only gospel that records information about the birth of Jesus through the visitation of the shepherds found in the second chapter. In addition, in this chapter, it is the only gospel that includes information about Jesus and Mary and Joseph going to the temple for the rite of purification, and of Jesus being in the temple at the age of 12, teaching the leaders of Israel. Another aspect of Luke that is unique is that it is the only gospel that includes information about the genealogy of Jesus through Mary. Matthew records information about the genealogy of Jesus through Joseph, and that dates back to Abraham, the patriarch of Israel. The information about the genealogy of Jesus through Mary dates back to Adam. And in doing so, Luke is showing how Jesus is part of God's salvation history for all people. Another unique aspect about the Gospel of Luke is found in the fourth chapter of Luke, where Jesus declares his intent for ministry, an intent of salvation for all people. I invite you to hear what Luke records about this announcement in Luke chapter 4, verses 16 through 21. When he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, he went to the synagogue on the Sabbath day, as was his custom. He stood up to read, and the scroll of the prophet Isaiah was given to him. He unrolled the scroll and found in it the place where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." And he rolled up the scroll, gave it back to his attendant, and sat down. The eyes of all in the synagogue were fixed on him. Then he began to say to them, "Today the scripture has been fulfilled in your hearing." Another unique attribute of Luke is found in the parables that are found only in Luke. One of them is the parable of the Good Samaritan, found in the 10th chapter of Luke. Some others are found in the 15th chapter of Luke, often called the lost and found chapter of the Bible. And they are the parable about the shepherd looking for the lost sheep, the woman searching for the lost coin, and the father waiting for the prodigal, searching in his heart for the prodigal's return. Another attribute in Luke is the recording in the 24th chapter of Luke of Jesus walking with two disciples on the road to Emmaus following his resurrection. As a part of this recording, Jesus reminds them and teaches them of the salvation history of God. Luke records how they realized Jesus in the breaking of the bread, which makes it likely that Luke was a gospel also written to be read as the Christians and the house churches gathered to celebrate the Lord's Supper. Another unique attribute in the Gospel of Luke is found in Jesus' ascension in the 24th chapter, verses 50 through 52. Then he led them out as far as Bethany, and lifting up his hands, he blessed them. While he blessed them, he parted from them and was carried up into heaven. And they returned to Jerusalem with great joy, and were continually in the temple, blessing God. The Gospel of Luke is the gospel for all. It is a gospel of blessing from God. May God bless you this day.